Good evening and welcome to episode 122. As always, let's start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let all your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, see yourself completely loose, like a rag doll. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you have identified that, think about why you are thankful. And now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you're thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. All right. So we've been talking about karma, what it is, how it ripens, what are the effects for the past almost month or so now. So today I want to discuss a topic as a setup for our next week's discussion. We'll today talk about when does negative karma effects are triggered. So this will be a nice setup to our discussion, which we've been talking about, what's known as karma and dharma, right? So let's get in. For any karma effect to, make an impact on our lives, there needs to be 4 factors present before we can suffer the consequences of a negative action. 1, the object. 2, the intention. 3, the preparation. And 4, the completion. So let's take an example. Say a mosquito is bothering us. We get upset and decide to squat this mosquito. We use the squatter to kill this mosquito. As soon as the mosquito is killed, the negative action of killing is complete. So let's break this down. What were the 4 factors in this situation? The mosquito itself was the object, right? That's an obvious thing. Our intention to kill this mosquito arrives when it starts bothering us, irritating us, bugging us, right? So it doesn't arrive as too late. It actually starts early enough, but it just grows. First, it's just irritating. We move our hand to make it go away and whatnot, and then it really bothers us, right? We prepare to kill by using the squatter or any other object for that matter. And then action is complete when we actually kill this mosquito. So that's a sequence that must happen before we will suffer negative consequences of any karma. And we'll talk about next week as to how this affects our job, right? That's what everyone wants to discuss apparently. So we'll talk about that. Couple of things of note here though. Let's say you're trying to kill a mosquito. And when you try to squat it, by mistake, you kill a fly. So in this case, we will not suffer consequences of killing a fly. So that's something important to note. But also a point to bear in mind that if we direct someone to kill a mosquito for us, and they complete that action, both of us suffer that consequence. And this is a very important point. We cannot say I did not kill the mosquito because obviously you didn't, but you asked someone else to, so you do suffer consequences. So in this case, both the person who gives the instruction and person who carries out the action, they both will suffer. And the reason I point this out is that, that's one thing we keep talking about for last month, is that there are wars going on around the world. And the soldiers who kill for sure suffer that negative consequence. But the commander and generals and the leaders actually suffer a lot more. Because for them, it's consequence of all of the actions of the soldiers, right? So that's a lot of heavy responsibility. It's overwhelming negative karma, if you will. So being a powerful politician is a worst case scenario because one ends up suffering from the negative action of so many people who carry out their orders. Similarly, if a group of people decide to perform a negative action through only one person, the entire group will suffer the consequences. Makes sense, right? There are also rules for intention of an action to have taken place. See, we talked about object, which was obvious, intention, preparation, and action. So intention, we need to little bit take it apart, if you will. For us to have created intention, there has to be 3 factors at work. 1, discrimination. 2, determination. And 3, delusion. So what does that mean? Discrimination means identifying the living being we intend to harm, right? So, for example, if a hunter goes out and hunts a deer, right, but accidentally kills a human being, the intention is not there, right? If you remember the famous Dick Cheney hunting accident. So in this case, you do not get the negative consequences of killing an animal or a human being for that matter. The next factor that needs to be present is determination. Once you identify an object, an animal in the hunting example, we carry out the plan. We have the hunting gear, we have the traps, we have the gun, everything else, right? The whistle, whatnot. We will not be preparing for this unless we are determined to do it. So that's determination. And the last factor that needs to be present is delusion. This is very important. This is where I think some of the Indian mythology discussions come in here, because a lot of time maybe there was no delusion. Our intent occurs, actually it only occurs if we are motivated by one of the delusions, such as anger, attachment, hatred, etc. For example, a soldier kills out of hatred for the enemy. A thief would kill out of attachment for the money, right? In our previous example of mosquito, we kill a mosquito out of anger. So you say, every killing probably includes a delusion. And you're probably right. But there are some killings, very rare, that may happen out of compassion. Say an animal is hurt and suffering, right? There is no way to save that animal. And killing that puts it out of its misery. In this case, there's no negative karma because you're doing it out of compassion. Even if there is an object and a determination to kill, because there is no delusion present. So it's very important to note. So as you can see, these factors are very much important in determining whether negative effects of karma take place or not. And my plan next week is to make sure that we take all of these and then do some real life job example. That's what we want to do, is to discuss, how it affects our day-to-day life. So that's the idea next week. So if you are ready, let's start the meditation. In today's meditation, let's do something different. As always, we'll begin with settling down at our hearts. Once we are settled, let's contemplate. Let's contemplate the effects of negative karma. And we talked about that before, right? How it ripens. And how our today's negative karma will bring future suffering. We'll also contemplate that our negative karma can ripen in many different ways. From rebirth as an animal, for example, or tendencies similar to action, environmental effect, we talked about those as well. And then once we contemplate that, we make a determination to abandon one negative karma, just one, which we have habit of repeating. So if we have a habit of, let's say, anger, then let's try to work on that. Or habit of attachment or jealousy or whatever happens to be in your mind. Let's pick one negative karma and say, I will not do this for at least a week. That's it, right? And then we hold that determination single-pointedly as long as we can. If we lose our determination, we go back to contemplation and bring that determination back. So that's the idea. If you are ready, let's begin. Please get into your meditation posture. Back straight, spine upright, shoulders leveled. Gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open. So if you have any stress in your jaws, it will dissipate. Arms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, see all your stress drip away from your muscles. Now, bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention at your nostrils for about a minute or so on your own. Bring your attention at your heart. Experience the peaceful nature of your root mind at your heart. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, let's contemplate. There are all kinds of negative karma. They all fit into 10 different categories: killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive speech, hurtful speech, ill chatter, covetousness, wrong views, etc. Think about one action you may be prone to more than others. Now, let's contemplate the effects of our negative karma. It can ripen as a rebirth in an animal being or in a war torn zone, for example, or in a place where there is a lot of hardship, or tendencies where we have impulse to do the same kind of negative karma over and over again. So, in essence, our negative action today will make our life in the future miserable. Think about that for a minute. Now, make a determination that you will avoid this particular negative action for at least one next week. And focus on that determination single pointedly. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions? No questions? Go ahead, Chirag.
I don't know, this might be an advanced topic, but you spoke about negative karma.
Yeah.
But if you were sitting next to me and you were aware of my intent to kill the mosquito and you take no action, is there negative karma because of that?
No, there is not, in a sense that, like, if you do it, if you do something to stop me, I mean, if I do something to stop you, for example, right, and I end up hurting you, then there is no negative karma attached to that because I come from pure intention, right, pure motivation. But you doing something, and it only affects if that's part of, if I'm responsible for them, for example, then it, let's say I'm responsible for well-being of 20 people and I let you hurt them, then yes, there is negative karma for that. Otherwise, there is no. Good question. Never came up. This is the third karma series. So thank you. Go ahead, Anka.
We talked about intention of killing mosquitoes, and instead of mosquitoes, you kill something else. It's
Okay.
a fly or something.
Fly, right,
Now, suppose you have intention of killing 2 mosquitoes and you
Right.
kill one.
right.
That's
You-
one question.
Okay.
And in the first instance, rather than killing mosquito, unintentionally you kill a fly.
Right.
Do you get any positive karma for not killing mosquitoes?
Okay. There's no positive karma for not killing mosquito. That's the easy one. But actually, there are 3 questions here. The first one's easy, right? The second one is, if you intend to kill 2 mosquitoes, if you kill one, then yes, there is negative karma of killing one for sure, right? The third one, I mean, putting my own question in here, is that you intend to kill mosquito, but you end up killing fly, and that's an accident. There is no negative karma. However, if you know there is a fly around it, and if you try to kill mosquito and fly may get hurt, then there is negative karma attached to it. Does that make sense? Did I make it complicated?
And I can still make it complicated. Now, is there any different level of negative karma depending on whom you hurt?
Absolutely. We talked about that, I think, last week, as to, depending on who the person is or who the living being is, right? There is a difference of level of negative karma attached to it. For example, if you're talking killing one's parents has the worst type of negative karma attached to it. Killing a guru has another type of negative karma attached, very high level, right? So there are 5 what they call heinous crimes, right? Parents, gurus. So that has totally different level. And then what the action, also has effect. I think we also talked about that last week, is that if killing gently versus killing through torture, right, has 2 different levels of negative suffering attached. So it does make a difference who the living being is and what the method used. But the biggest thing in this here is the intention, right? Intention is where everything starts, because that's a mental action which initiates everything. Without intention, nothing starts, right? And the presence of delusion is a major factor in intention. So are you doing it because of anger, attachment, or just compassion, right? Those are.
Are you done?
He's done. If you say he's done, Auntie.
Falguni?
અંકલે કીધું કે 2 mosquito by accident you kill 2 mosquito. તો one તો accidentally જ kill થયો ને. One you try to kill. So
Oh,
that is not.
okay, I misunderstood the question. I thought you tried to kill 2 and only killed 1. I thought that was the question. Uncle?
No, he asked
Yes.
3 different questions.
No, I think you had intention of 2 and you kill 1.
Okay. But your question is, your intention is 1 and you kill 2. Right? So in that case, if there are like, let's say there are 10 mosquitoes flying around, right, in your face, and you say, I'm going to kill this John mosquito, but you end up killing 8 of them, then yeah, there is negative karma about all 8, because you know that the squatter is going to hit more than 1, right? You know that, even though you try, then you're trying to circumvent the karma rules, right? But karma is more complicated than that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you just talking about death as a
No, so
negative karma, or are you talking about any action?
any, right? So there are 10 negative karmas, right? We had a good session 2-3 weeks ago on that. Well, there are a lot of negative karma, but they all fall into these 10 buckets. And killing is the absolute worst, and then idle chatter is the it affects least, right? So gappa mariyam, that's also a negative karma, but it doesn't have that much effect. So so they're killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. Those are physical negative karmas, right? When there is lying, divisive speech, hurtful speech, and idle chatter, they are speech negative actions. And their covetousness, wrong views, those are mental negative. Go ahead, Aditi.
So, like if you remember, if we go to Crestone, Mahalakshmi temple, they have so many mosquitoes, and they do offer like mosquito repellent, something natural,
Mhm.
and I do apply it, it's like there are so many mosquitoes, like I said,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm not sure if it kills mosquitoes or not, but is it a bad karma on my part now?
So there are 2 kinds of repellent. One is which keeps the smell, just keeps them away from you, right?
Uh-huh.
You use that, there's no bad karma.
Okay.
Then there's other one where you do this kachba shapa agarbatti, when it actually kills the mosquito, right?
Oh.
Which does have bad karma. Now we all do it, right? But more we know, we should try to avoid it, right? Remember, I talked about, were you here? We talked about this nun in Dallas. She had termites in the building,
Yeah.
and then she's found a way. I mean, she lived with it for a while and found a way to remove the termites without killing them, right? So but she's not, so.
And we do like pest, we do also use pest control, but
Yeah.
it never occurred to us before this session that what is it going to do to them,
Absolutely. And it's a life, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a life no different than your life and my life,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we just to be physically bigger than them, but essentially it's a life.
Yep.
So we had that discussion 2 months ago. There were some mice issues, and I talked about it. I said, let's make sure we don't kill the mice. Let's see if we can avoid killing these things. Find a way to do it without killing them. So, but we live in a modern world, and certain things it's difficult, like you said. So, any other questions? Okay, I'm going to stop recording.